Hi everybody, I'm Chris Malone. This is another episode of Remember the Theme. Today's guest is Meg Stepka of Meg and the Megaspheres. How you doing today, Meg?
I'm good.
Megan.
Yes,
we talked
and the
about that before.
magnetosphere.
And the magnetosphere. I'm so
really
sorry.
close.
I feel so dumb. I'm sorry.
It's good.
I'm sorry. It's been a long, long day.
Yes.
I always know you as Meg Stepka because I heard you individually, and I'm like, that's amazing. I got to come see your band.
Yes, you
Like I've heard your stuff on Facebook, but I want to come see you guys live, and I've seen you live here, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been bragging about you to tons of people. I'm like, we finally had an individual artist that really is separate, I think, from a lot of the other artists that we've had. Because I'm not knocking anybody, but there's just, to me, it stands out certain types of music, that I appreciate a little more. So, how long have you been a musician for?
How do we define a musician? I think the first time I played an instrument, I was 5, 6, 7 years old playing around with the piano. I took a couple piano lessons when I was around that age, just for 6 months or so. I think I felt inspired to write a poem in 7th grade for the first time, maybe, to actually express something. And it was this strange foreign world to me, expressing myself in words. Like no one showed me how to do that or said you should do that. It was just this I'm gonna do it. And I think the minute I did that, I remember thinking I was getting into grunge music back then in junior high, I think, and I was hearing, the alignment of what I was doing with what was being said in songs, and I thought, oh my gosh, I could sing this. I want to sing this. So whatever that is, somewhere around 7th or 8th grade, I started strumming guitars and putting words to express myself to feelings, and they started turning into songs. I started performing out. A little later than that, maybe in high school, I played a couple open mic nights, terrified, shaking, nerves, all nerves. But I think in my early 20s, I started playing out, booking shows, being a musician.
Now, when you say that the grunge era kind of inspired you, what is the background? We'll kind of float right into the next question. What is the background of music that you grew up on? What were your early influences prior to?
A lot of radio in the car rides, that's for sure. So I remember driving with my mom and her being happy when certain songs came on, whatever they were. I maybe could name a few 80s songs, but just that thing that changed the energy in, for instance, a car, a small space of a person. And I would notice that and I would pick up on that, and there would just be this lightness in the air. So I think just hearing music, watching people appreciate music at a young age, I always noticed. Specific artists you want to know about, or the background? I mean, the classic rock. I think my parents listened to classic rock. I was around Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and that kind of music when I was a kid, before I knew who they were, before people I knew thought it was cool. That was in my background. Let's see, the first tape, maybe. Oh, okay. So when I was very young in preschool, I remember loving the Monkees, the TV show The Monkees, right? And I had the cassette tape from the library of the Monkees, and I remember wanting to understand it better, and I unwound all the tape from the cassette tape and had this pile of tape, and that's one of my first experiences with music, understanding that it was actually on this tape inside a cassette and that I had pulled it apart trying to understand it. So we're gonna start with the Monkees there, follow up to some movies that had music in them as a kid. The Sound of Music was a big influence when I was, again, a very small child, before school age, just watching these people sing and light up, and it was something different than anything I could, anything in reality, anything in the real world. We didn't break into song, but I sure loved seeing musicals where they did. And then pop music, I think, as a young girl, Madonna, Paula Abdul, these women were huge. They were on MTV, they were, everywhere, and I just was listening and watching and assessing and taking it all in and thinking, that's not me, but I'm hearing and I'm seeing what they're saying and I'm being inspired from then till now. Grunge came in later in life, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Hole. There was so much, being a female in music, I was always, again, very aware and listening to what people were saying about Madonna or someone like Courtney Love. There was a lot of negativity as much as there was, they're a great singer or a great performer. But again, as a woman in music, there was always the other side of things. And so I was always watching, always listening, and always, again, crafting and thinking, how do I want to present myself as a musician later? And I'm figuring it out still.
Now, on the singing and performing side, I didn't know this. There's a difference between a performer and a singer.
Sure.
And I never knew that until recently.
Nah.
Like, and I've been playing music for years myself, and I never knew that there are people that are really good at just doing things in the studio. And then there's people that are really good at performing. They don't have the greatest musical skills, but they're really good at performing. And then there's people, you know, then there's the anomalies that have both, and then there's the people that have like, that develop the skills, you know, but I can't remember her name. She had passed away at 27, Amy Winehouse, right? She said she was a natural singer, but she is not a natural performer. And I was like, that's really, wait a second, they're separate?
That almost seems backwards to me. I mean, I don't know her well at all.
That's
I
what
thought
she
of her
said.
as a performer. It's interesting because I kind of make a split that's not that, and I'm in my mind made it a long time ago. I remember writing this line down. I don't want to entertain you. I want to change you. To me, that means like I'm not a performer. I'm not Madonna. You know, somebody who again was big part of my life growing up, but I would never wanted to be that type of entertainer. Though she did change people, she definitely got people thinking. There are topics and things that made people uncomfortable, and it affected, I think, again, women, men, all kinds of people. But that's the side of it. I want to be the person that brings about a change in what I'm doing. You know, I want it to change you. I don't want to just entertain you. And so that's where the split I see is. And I don't know if that's the same split that you're talking about, because it's not. I know you're talking about the trained singer versus the performer, and I obviously in that category fall into the performer side of it, because I'm not a trained singer. It's just I'm this ball of energy that has intention.
Right. That's so cool. I like how you worded it like that. That's cool.
I don't know if I like ball of energy.
There you go, essence.
Essence of energy.
Nice. Relax, essence. What are your goals as a musician?
To change you. To change the way you think about yourself. My goals as a musician are to just self-discovery, self-expression. Again, a long time ago, it became, I think, natural, second nature, so to speak, first nature, to express myself not just with words, but with the music alongside the words. I think, you know, we were talking about my song Same Rain, and how certain songs with the word rain in it,
They have a certain feel,
have a certain feel, have a certain sound. What is that? Whatever that is, it feels aligned with a lot of writers, right, and songwriters and expression. And so tapping into that mystery that is sameness of topic, of story. We talked about, again, off camera, not on the interview, but Joseph Campbell, which we'll talk about a little more maybe in the future, and what a big influence he's been in terms of storytelling, and how all through time there's a lot of the same story. It's a lot of the same journey of finding the self, of celebrating and accepting truth, of celebrating and accepting suffering as a part of life, and just dealing with it, and really just knowing it's there, and knowing that we're going to do what we can to make the best for ourselves and for others. And what I found, and what a lot of people find, is that just authenticity and being honest with yourself is that's how you get to your equilibrium. So I think as a musician, seeking that place through self-expression with music, it helps you get there.
Yeah.
I definitely forgot the first question.
No, that was the perfect answer. Yeah, that was very good, I believe. How has music guided your life? How has it helped you? Has it helped you emotionally express things you weren't
Absolutely
able to convey, or?
I think music, as a musician, as a listener of music, it's done that, and as a writer of music, it's done that. As someone who has always, I used to get home from school and go right to the radio or the cassette tapes or the CDs I had, and put something on as a child, and that was just that relief from the hecticness and the chaos of social interactions with so many different kinds of people in the world we live in. It's just there's always different values and what's the word I'm looking for? Just different things, different levels of importance to different people. And you're out in this world, and that is what it is. But at the end of the day, like I said, my mom could turn on the radio and her energy could change. Whatever that is, I knew that for a long time, and I would put the music on and let it change me. On a bad day, I can't say the best thing I think I could recommend to anyone is a good pair of stereo headphones, not just earbuds, but stereo headphones, and your favorite song, and you can just start moving to those frequencies. If it's a slow song, if it's a fast song, it doesn't matter, but there's a structure that a song provides, that a key of music provides to a frazzled or frustrated or depressed or sad mind of someone at any age. And so that for me as a listener has been a big deal. I've always tried to say, you know, I'm feeling a little out of sorts. I'm not feeling like myself. I need to just chill out and listen. And as I started to write, very much so that applied. If I'm having a bad day, an off day, even if I feel physically a little ill or off or something, holding an acoustic guitar and strumming it against the body, feeling the frequencies vibrate, that's Buddhist stuff right there. That's like Tai Chi, kind of stuff. And so knowing that's a truth, like I know that's a scientific truth, that music calms us, that frequencies rewrites, again, frazzled is the only word I can think of right now, but an out of sorts energy. So I really like to use that, and then I take that very seriously. And again, the words I write and the tones I choose when I write them, music helps me clearly express myself, I think.
That's so cool you brought up the Buddhist thing. Like, I always crack jokes with people whenever they're wigging out. I'm like, you have to,
you do.
and it really does like chill you out. Like I did a lot of transcendental meditation for a long time, and I ended up going into, that's what led me to mythology and the Joseph Campbell stuff, and then I kind of changed directions to where I'm like, I need to develop my own philosophy, because I think that's the end path, is you got to find your own truth, you know.
Absolutely.
But so I totally identify with the Om and the strumming the acoustic guitar and the frequencies and all. That's good, because a lot of people don't know that that's what it is. It's a frequency.
Strum your way back to homeostasis.
Yeah, it's a frequency, man. That's
Yes.
all that stuff is. It is not anything more than energy waves ripping through your body, and different keys and different tones change the mood. It really does. Really, that's cool. That, you know, that gives, you know, the viewers more of an idea on what music really, how it change. It can really physically change.
Physically change you. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I don't know much about it personally, but like alpha waves and beta waves.
Yeah.
They say, you know, if you're having trouble sleeping, to listen to low tones, these really low tones, and same with relaxation. Same thing, the calming, the lower the better, so to speak. But you can apply that and stretch it, of course, across to popular music and, you know, just whatever kind of music, you know, the people you might interview or I might perform, play. Like, yes, we're not playing that slow alpha wave music, but it's all in there, is
Right.
harmonics and subharmonics and frequencies. So yeah, music heals.
Are you religious? These are the last two controversial questions, because it's good for the audience.
Okay. Oh, absolutely. Am I religious? I am. What is religious anymore, right? I think that we have so many religions in the world. One of my favorite courses to study when I was pursuing my degree in sociology was world religions. Everybody, I think, should study world religions. Just a simple 101 course where you get the basics of each of the major world religions and some of the smaller ones. I think we live in a country that we need to know about the people who were here before we came here, the Native American culture, and what their religions were about, right? So that, yes, I'm religious in the sense that I believe every religion has so much value, and they are, you know, what have got generations and our ancestors through the most mysterious times of the world, before science, before there was tested and tried theories, and before technology of discovery and just, you know, exploration of what all the religions might be from like today's point of view. Myself, I was brought up, I went to Catholic school. My family is Catholic and Christian and different variations of that, but at a young age, I, you know, like most people, I think, say, what? I'm not sure if this is quite for me, and self-discovery was definitely my path. I felt like around 14, 15 years old, I started to hear a lot about Eastern religions and started to understand that there was a sort of a split in the religions where you take a responsibility for yourself, and others where you sort of expect someone, you know, it's outward, inward versus outward. And I'm a big believer that, like we were saying earlier, we ultimately determine our day-to-day happiness and our point of view. And I think a lot of religions help people with that. And for me personally, I think I like to stand back from all the religions and take, you know, the things that apply most to this life for me right now. On the note of religion, I'll say one thing that I thought was great from the Hindu religion that changed my life. I think I've given this advice to a lot of people who have hang-ups and troubles and aren't resolved with their parents, perhaps, from whatever. You know, we all grow up with different things. in the Hindu religion, it says that your soul before it's born chooses the family it will be born into. And that's it. And if you just meditate on that for a minute and think about it, you can't blame your parents for anything, but rather not blame, but hold yourself accountable for choosing your role in this life. I love that. It changed my life, and it made me feel like I am empowered, and I am me, and I am here, and I am on a mission. And everything that was tough in my life, whatever it was from my parents' experience, what was tough in theirs and what made it tougher for them to, raise me as a young person. Forgiveness sounds silly, like I forgive them. I forgive everything because I'm here to be me, and I picked it. I like that part of it.
Nice. Are you political?
Yeah, I vote, and I would have voted for Bernie Sanders. I did in the primary. I think that politics is a messy subject because it gets emotional, and it's not, politics, I would hope it was about facts and just debate, but unfortunately it's about social values and things that don't seem that they should be in the political realm. So on that note, I have to play the game. I am political, very liberal, very progressive.
All right. That was our guest today, Meg.
Thank you, Chris.
We will put some of her plugs that she's got on YouTube, right?
Absolutely.
Facebook. You got a Twitter account people could follow?
Twitter,
okay.
Meganne Stepka, Meganne.
Okay.
Stepka, if you're not finding it under Meg Stepka. And megstepka.com links back to all the websites.
Okay. And then one last thing, I didn't ask, it's stupid of me. What are some of your upcoming shows that you have coming up?
We
Anything,
have got
any
a
big
show,
things coming up?
speaking of politics, we have a show on election night at the Beachland Ballroom and Tavern, in the Tavern, with 3 other great bands, I think at least 3 bands, Kiss Me Deadly, Link's Last Moment, Tom Adams, and my band Meg and the Magnetosphere. And we are hoping that people will vote, and instead of going home and watching TV all night, they'll come and hang out.
That's like Rock the Vote.
And support some live music, and just we'll find out together where this country's going, and the band van will be ready to go to Canada.
Good stuff.
Yes.
All right. Thank you today, Meg.
Thank you, Chris.
You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy yourselves.
And remember the theme. All right, well, I'm going to start with a song called Same Rain.
the same rain
with the same rain that'll fall 100 years later. And all the raindrops make time to come, dance in the storm. From water, what's at our core? Tiny mirrors made from water, what's at our core? We are water. All right, this next song is called The Sound You Know. Don't sing a lie. There's no time for the crimes that you rhymed from the soul like you know, but you don't know. You hide and you cry and you say you can't find what you need in yourself is some peace of mind. So don't sing a lie, there's no time for the crimes that you rhymed from the soul like you know, but you don't know. Don't you know, don't you know what you're doing to me? But you're not. If you're faking, there's no faking the dream. And now we're starting to see if we change the key. Now I'm starting to see if I change the key. A little half step in any direction will change the sound to love. A little half step in any direction will change the sound to love. When the sound you know is love. The sound of your soul is love. So don't sing a lie, there's no time for the crimes that you rhymed from the soul like you know, but you don't know. There's some place inside, it's not right, it's not wrong, but it's bright and it's strong like you could be. Like you are, like we are, all learning to see. That little half step in any direction will change the sound to love. A little half step in any direction will change the sound to love. When the sound you know is love. love. The sound of your soul is love. Okay, and this last song is called Change What You Can. Help me to understand humans. Why do we keep tearing at our skin so thin when we could be building a home we can all live in? Help me to understand the plan. God is good, but the kingdom is within. Don't point your fingers when we could be shaking hands. Change what you can. Change what you can. Change what you can. Change what you can. Help me to carry out this plan. Change what you can. 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 And together we can stand against what we can't alone. Alone. Change what you can. 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 Change what you can.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end of our elaborate plans. The end of everything that stands. The end, no safety or surprise. The end, I'll never look into your eyes again. lost in a romance, wilderness of pain, and all the children are insane. All the children are insane, waiting for the summer rain. There's danger on the edge of town. Ride the King's Highway, baby. Weird scenes inside the gold mine. Ride the highway west, baby. Ride the snake, ride the snake to the lake, the ancient lake, baby. The snake is long, 7 miles. Ride the snake. He's old and his skin is cold. The West is the best. The West is the best. Get here and we'll do the rest. The blue bus is calling us. The blue bus is calling us. Driver, where you taking us? The killer awoke before dawn. He put his boots on. He took a face from the ancient gallery and he walked on down the hall. He went into the room where his sister lived, and then he paid a visit to his brother, and then he walked on down the hall, and he came to a door, and he looked inside. Father, yes, son, I want to kill you. Mother, I want to. Come on, baby, take a chance with us. Come on, baby, take a chance with us. Come on, baby, take a chance with us and meet me at the back of the blue bus. Do not blue rock on that blue bus. Do not do that. Come on, yeah. This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end. It hurts to set you free, but you'll never follow me. The end of laughter and soft light. The end of nights we try to die. This is